Also, there's this whole Chandler Jones news, and a lot of people have linked Chandler Jones to the Ravens based on the scheme fit, right? He can come right into this type of 3-4 defense that the Ravens do run. Now, I know we tend to have a little bit of a hybrid type of defense, but Chandler Jones, veteran, he's kind of on the back nine of his career, as the Ravens do tend to like to bring in those types of guys. On top of that, Marlon Humphrey put out a tweet basically saying that Chandler Jones to the Ravens, I believe was his exact words. And of course, everybody went crazy. They're like, yes, please, Chandler Jones to the Ravens, right? But I wanted to take a look at his stats. I wanted to compare it to Justin Houston. So these two guys are basically like the hot commodities. These are the guys that Ravens fans really want. But is it realistic? Is it realistic? You got to think about that, right? Because we always talk about the cap space, right? When it comes to the Ravens, for some reason, it seems like the cap space does apply to the Ravens. But when it comes to teams like the Saints, when it comes to teams like the Chiefs, the Eagles, the cap space does not apply. They have cap space turned off. They're playing Madden in rookie mode. They don't have any cap space. They can sign any number of free agents that they want. They can make any number of trades that they really want to make, because they have figured out a way to basically just not have the cap space as a problem for them. However, the Baltimore Ravens, we are playing on all Madden. We have cap space turned on. And that is a problem for the Ravens. So they allow themselves to have that limit put on themselves, even though you see other teams that have literally zero cap space out there making moves. So, I don't know. A lot of people are saying the Chandler Jones thing is not realistic because there's no cap space. But at the same time, I'm like, bro, look at what the Chiefs did. They had zero cap space, and look at all the signings they made, all the trades they made. You know what I mean? And again, I don't really know much about the cap. I'm not going to sit here and try to act like I'm some cap specialist, because I'm not. I'm just a Ravens fan, right? So I can't really speak on it too much. But a lot of people are saying that this move is not realistic because of the cap space that the Ravens seem to actually have to listen to, have to follow the cap space rule, while other teams just don't happen to have to follow that rule. So let's take a look at their stats. But shout out to you guys, man. We got Abdi Hassan. We got Don C. What's up, Don C? Thank you for joining, bro. We got Manuel's COD channel. He says Roethlisberger is now skinny. He looks kind of sus. I don't know, man. We'll see what Large Benjamin has to say when that Ravens defense comes screaming at him. No, but hey, good for him, man. He seems to be on the same level that I am. I'm trying to lose weight. Large Benjamin is trying to become medium-sized Benjamin, is what it appears like. So, hey, credit to him, man. I'm trying to get on that level too. So, shout out to Large Benjamin there. Sutton Def, what's up, bro? Shout out to you, man. Good to see you. So, all right, let's get into these stats. I want to take a look at Chandler Jones' stats here over the past few years, just to see like what we would be getting ourselves into. So, apparently he had an injury. He had an injury last year. He only played in 5 games. And in those 5 games, he was able to recover a fumble. He put up 1 sack, 11 total tackles, 1 tackle for loss, and 7 quarterback hits. So, not the most productive year that we've seen from Chandler Jones, but it's not bad considering the fact that he only played in 5 games, right? And there's always that question of if he is truly fully healthy, can he get back to the type of player that he's been over the past few seasons, just a perennial Pro Bowler, right? I mean, you look at him the year before in 2019, 8 forced fumbles, 19 sacks, 16 games played, 3 fumble recoveries, 26 quarterback hits, 53 total tackles, right? So the man balled out in 2019 when it appears that he was indeed fully healthy. 2018, 13 sacks, 1 fumble recovery, 3 forced fumbles, 4 pass deflections, 49 total tackles, and 18 quarterback hits, right? But of course, his best season in his career so far was in 2017, where he did play a full season, 16 games, 3 pass deflections, 2 forced fumbles, 17 sacks, which is actually not his career high. It was his second highest year in terms of sack production. But 59 total tackles, 28 tackles for loss, and 33 quarterback hits. So the man can get to the quarterback is what we're seeing here. So would Chandler Jones be a good addition? Yes. I mean, you look at these numbers. Now, I understand you look at 2020 and you see, look, the man only put up 1 sack. But he also only played in 5 games. And you don't know how entirely healthy the man was in those 5 games. Right? So, I think he would be a perfect fit if he was to come to the Ravens. I mean, you just stick him right there on the outside and just say, go at it, man. Right? That would be ideal. I would like to see Chandler Jones in purple on the Baltimore Ravens. But again, like I mentioned, man, the Ravens put the cap limit on themselves. They say, okay, we have to abide by the rule of cap space. Whereas our competition, like the Chiefs, they can sign Joe Thuney. They can trade for our tackle. We can give them our tackle even though they have no cap space. Let's keep making them better. Let's keep allowing them to play on rookie mode while we're on all Madden, right? It's just crazy to me. I just don't get it. So, but that's Chandler Jones' stats. Now I want to take a look at Justin Houston, right? Because Justin Houston has been another guy that the Ravens fans have really been clamoring for. They've been saying, look, if we can't get Chandler Jones, and again, the fact that he asked for a trade, I don't know what, again, I have not been following the Arizona Cardinals. I'm not going to lie to you guys. I'm not going to sit here and act like I'm a Cardinals expert, that I can tell you I know exactly what's going on with Chandler Jones in the car. I don't. What I'm assuming is that maybe he didn't like that they brought in J.J. Watt, right? Maybe the fact that they brought in J.J. Watt, he's like, bro, I'm the guy. You're adding J.J. Watt, who's supposed to be that guy as well? I don't like that. Get me out of here. Maybe that's what, I don't know. Or maybe there's a contract dispute. Whatever's happening with Chandler Jones, I'm not entirely sure. I should have done my research, I know. A more well-informed reporter or NFL anchor, whatever you want to call me, would have done his research and probably watched some Cardinals games. However, I am not a well-informed anchor/reporter. I am just a Ravens fan that likes to talk about football and other stuff. So that's what I am. I'm sorry, but I am what I am. He is I, and I am him. That's why they call me Noobstradamus. That's why I am the artist formerly known as JoeNoobo, right? Because I'm a noob. That's what they say. But anyway, so I don't even know what I'm saying anymore. I'm just going on tangents. So let's look at Justin Houston's stats. Everybody's been talking about Justin Houston. Again, Chandler Jones would be awesome. I would love it, but I just don't know how the Ravens would make it work with the whole cap space situation that seems to only affect them, right? So, and on top of that, like my guy JT said earlier, it would only really be a 1-year rental type of thing. So, would it even be worth it to take on all that cap just for 1 year of hopefully he's fully healthy? Hopefully he's ready to, compete and play hard and play like a Raven. It's just so many X factors that you just don't know what's going to happen with that if it does end up happening, right? But let's take a look at Justin Houston's stats. But before we do that, quick water break. And also, we got about 40 people in here. You guys do me a favor and smash that like button. And also, if you haven't hit that subscribe button, do me a solid. Hit that subscribe button. I appreciate it. All right. So taking a look here at Justin Houston, right? Chandler Jones, let's say Chandler Jones is best case scenario, is the number 1 most wanted guy for the Ravens. I don't think that Justin Houston would be a bad consolation prize, right? But let's take a look at his numbers to really take a look here as we just looked at Chandler Jones' stats. So, it appears Justin Houston was fully healthy both this past season and the season before. All 16 games played, right? 2020, he had 1 forced fumble. He had 2 fumble recoveries. and he had 8 sacks. Now, people take a look at that 8 sacks and they're like, oh, he only put up 8 sacks in 16 games. But bro, that probably would have led the Ravens in sacks last year, right? I think it was Matt Judon that led the team in sacks, if I'm not mistaken, with what, like 7.5, 6.5, was it? So, bro, people saying like, oh, he only had 8. Bro, 8 sacks would be phenomenal for the Ravens. If we could get a guy that can consistently put up 8 sacks, you know how much that would help the defense, especially this year, right? So I don't hate that at all. I actually like the fact that he got 8 sacks. He also got 12 quarterback hits, so it's not like the man is just cleaning up here. He's not just getting some cleanup sacks, right? He's actually getting to the quarterback. 25 total tackles, 8 tackles for loss. So that's his 2020. 2019, again, 16 games played, 2 forced fumbles, 3 fumble recoveries, and 11 sacks. So the man, look, I mean, you just look at his past few years, and aside from 2016, where he only played in 5 games, where he put up 4 sacks, the man is consistently putting above at least 7.5 sacks. Pretty much every single year. Barring 2016, where he was injured, and his rookie season, where he only had 5.5 sacks. But the man consistently puts up at least 7.5 sacks. So I think that the Justin Houston signing, when it comes to the money situation that the Ravens seem to put themselves in, the cap space, when it comes to sack production, when it comes to the numbers that you're looking for this defense, I don't think Justin Houston is at all a bad option. And the whole thing, and yes, like you're saying, he also had 22 sacks in 2014, where I think he actually led the league in sacks, if I'm not mistaken. I remember that year. So the man is not just some, oh, this guy is on his last legs. He's not even the same. He's not the same player, of course, but how many veteran players have the Ravens always seemed to find on the back 9 of their careers and be able to squeeze out those last couple years of production from them? I think Justin Houston could be that guy, right? And again, the proof is in the pudding. The proof is in the numbers. You don't believe me? Just watch. Look at the numbers. What do they say? What do they tell you? The man puts up at least 7.5 sacks, provided he is fully healthy. So I'm just saying, if you're going to go out and try to get a pass rusher, like, again, I know Chandler Jones could be possible if the Ravens didn't have cap space turned on, but nobody else in the league does, right? So, but the fact of the matter is, Justin Houston is not, like, it wouldn't be such a huge downgrade from Chandler Jones I mean, as a player, you could probably say, but I mean, in terms of production from what we've seen. I mean, Chandler Jones, like we said, only put up 1 sack last year. I know he wasn't fully healthy, but I'm just saying, if you're going to make a move for a pass rusher, either sign one of those guys that you worked out today, those randoms, I hate to call them randoms because they're in the NFL and I'm just here sitting talking to a camera, so that makes me a type of random, but look, they're in the NFL, they deserve to be there. Anyway, sign one of those guys, or what I would like to see happen, which I think makes a lot more sense, and I think would make a lot of Ravens fans really happy, and would make the front office happy, would make everyone happy, is a signing of Justin Houston. I think it makes a lot of sense. On top of that, you don't have to lose a pick, right? Because if you trade for Chandler Jones, you have to trade away a pick at least. And maybe even a play. I don't know what the Cardinals would want, considering that he has been an elite pass rusher in the past couple years, right? So they could ask for a lot. Now, if they're willing to move off of him for a 7th round pick, then yeah, of course you do that. But, I mean, if they ask for like a 2nd round pick, Ravens aren't going to do that. They're not going to do that. So it's just a lot of things. I don't believe that, unfortunately, as much as people want Chandler Jones to the Ravens, I don't know, and it makes a lot of sense fit-wise for the scheme, but I just don't think it's going to be a realistic thing from the Baltimore Ravens. What I would like to see, sign Justin Houston if you really want to shore up that edge rushing position, which it seems like the Ravens do want to do, considering the fact that they just had a bunch of guys in for a workout today. So Sign Justin Houston, and let's go win a Super Bowl, baby. That's what I think. That's what I have to say about the whole situation.